All right. Let's see here. Good morning. And wanted to. I told myself I was going to start doing these streams a lot more frequently. At least try to do them once, maybe twice a week. So I did one last week, so I'm doing another one this week. The basic thing I wanted to talk about today, because I felt like I should have a topic. So I've had a few questions because there are new backers. There are people that are just now starting to see brand and starting to check it out. So they don't know what's going on. They don't understand, And unfortunately, I have a playlist on the YouTube channel that's actually a brand playlist, but a lot of people don't see those videos anymore because a lot of my videos got taken down. Still trying to work that all out, but since we have so many I've probably gained at least 200 or 300 more backers in the last few months, and a lot of them, they weren't here when in the old days when I was having this content and all that, so they don't know what was going on. So they want to know, how did I come up with brand? Why is this stuff here? How do we create the concepts and all that? So this particular conversation is going to be me trying to explain things to backers and all that. So let me, question I get asked the most is, how did you come up with brand? So I've told this story a few times, but the basic thing is I was like 20, 23, 20, 25, something like that at the time. I was still living at home, and there was an HBO documentary about this guy. I think his name's George Kleklinski, the Iceman serial killer. And so I was going along, and I watched his documentary. They did the first one, and then it was such a hit. They did a follow up one with more footage or something. It was like two of them, and I watched both of them. I was fascinated by that guy. I couldn't get enough. So I wanted to know. It just made me start thinking. I was like, okay, serial killer is fascinating. What if I had like a superhero that was a serial killer? And that sparked the idea. That started me on that path of actually wanting to do this, and I started developing everything, because that was, what was that, 1998? That was 1998. And I started June of 1998. So I started thinking about, okay, I've got this character and he's a serial killer, but he's different. He's not just killing good people. He's actually killing bad people. I didn't know about Dexter or any of that kind of. I know that I actually enjoyed the television show Dexter. Never read the books, but the television show Dexter I like, but that came years later. But one of the things I wanted to do was I was soaking in my bathtub, and I used to do that a lot. I'd draw me a warm bath, and I just sit there and just start soaking it all up, and I was enjoying things. I was it helped me relax. It helped me get my thoughts together. So one of the things I started doing was I would drift off into this world that is now the brand world. And I would start, I was like, okay, so he's a serial killer. He's kind of a loner guy. He doesn't, but then all of a sudden, so I was like, okay, well, he needs somebody to talk to. Maybe he needs a partner, something like that. I started trying to flesh the story out, because originally Brand was going to be a novel. And I just wanted to make sure that, we had everything together. So I started coming up with this idea where he was, like I said, serial killer from God. then I was like, okay, so he's working for God, so he's got powers. And what are those powers? And so start fleshing those things out. And I was like, okay, so he's serial killer. What has he done to how does that work? So, how does what's the end goal? What's the beginning, middle, and end of the story? And all that. And again, like I said, I thought I started thinking about other characters. I was like, does he have a family? What's his mom like? What's his dad like? Who are the people that he interacts with in his day to day? So some of that stuff started happening, and at that time, that's when I started coming up with one of the first characters I created was a character called Penance. So Penance is David's mask and his partner, and I came up with Penance, but I wanted the idea that Penance wasn't the original. He was a replacement. And that I wanted the idea that even though they were partners, they were friends, that my phone keeps going off, but that even though they were partners and friends, there was some mistrust there. And the reason that mistrust is there is because the original partner is, someone that, David didn't really trust that much. And yeah, there was some bad things that happened. There were, he had worked with his first mask, which is a mask called Horus, and then they just they didn't work out. It didn't work out to the point where had to move on and let him go on to another place, and then they created Penance to replace him. So there's always an uneasiness between David and Penance because David always remembers the things that happened when he was with Horus. So once I started thinking about Horus and Penance and having their backstories, I started coming up with characters like Dark Santana, who will feature heavily in the story called 8 Crazy Nights. And I just Horus and Santana, I think, are fun characters. I think we'll have a lot of fun once you guys actually get to start seeing those concepts and what we're doing. But then also came up with characters like Lionel Solomon and Dawn Craven, because I don't know, maybe I started thinking that maybe I created Dawn because maybe David needed someone to rescue. I'm not sure if that's the case, but he obviously needed to have another partner, a love interest, but Dawn is sometimes more trouble than what she's worth, and people will find that out as she's kind of like I Love Lucy, where I used to love watching I Love Lucy, and she was always getting into those little schemes, and Ricky would have to Ricky would have to get her out of the jail. Don't go with your crazy schemes, Lucy. It's like I used to love that. So Dawn is kind of, maybe that's why she's a redhead, because I always liked that concept of Dawn being kind of more of a free spirit, a troublemaker, and David having to get her out of these little jams that she gets in. Let's see. Woke One, sup, bro? What's new with my new favorite awaited comic? Well, I mean, we're working. I don't, we're definitely working. Actually, there's going to be another update. There'll be another update before the end of the month. I actually just tweeted out a full color page. You may have seen it. You may not. It's on my Twitter if you want to check it out. But yeah, Dawn is something of a troublemaker, and she's someone that I don't know, that I found David's he's more serious, more stiff. So I needed more of a fun character, and then a character like Penance is more, he's more just sass and just, he's very blunt. Like Penance, so I like the way, as I've been writing some of the dialogue for the pages, Penance, I was very specific when I was giving Kanan instructions on how the pages should look and everything, that I wanted Penance to have a certain type of energy. I wanted him to feel a certain type of way. And I think what he wrote or what he drafted, I thought was every page, every time I see a new page, it is amazing. I am really, really thrilled with everything Kanan has been doing. And I cannot tell you enough how thrilled I am with all the pages. We are over the 50% mark. God, man, why is everybody texting me? But I'm looking at my phone because this thing gonna cut off after. It's gonna cut off after at the 50-minute mark. So I'm trying to. I gave myself a little reminder so I don't just sit here and be talking. So I had to, I had to keep my phone on, but I'm watching it so that I'm not halfway in the middle of a sentence and get turned off. But yeah, every page that Kane has been doing has been phenomenal. So I've been really excited about everything. But I would also say, just everything in general, even the beginning sequences of the story, which a lot of that is online. It's on the Indiegogo. It's on, it's on my Twitter and it's on my Instagram and stuff. We've shared so much of that stuff. Either colored or uncolored, but it really lays out the beginnings of a story. But everything looks real simple. You got Dawn walking down the highway. You got Lionel Solomon on a TV show. There's a cooking segment, and everybody's like, "It's a comic book. Why is the girls hitchhiking? They're on a TV show and all this kind of stuff." And I was like, yeah, but everything will weave together. There's a reason. Every character that you see that is speaking in the book, they're connected for some reason. And that's something I really wanted to play with. But I'm really, really excited for you guys to see, I guess, the finished product. The finished product, not only that, but to, I've already began to explain how Way of the Gun will open up, because I want, I was telling Kanan about some of the sequences, and he was like, "Whoa, that sounds really cool," So we're gonna get Way of the Gun going in a different in a different direction, since there won't be as much setup needed. It'll be a lot more fast paced, because I'm laying the groundwork in this book. I have to introduce the characters. The only character I wasn't able to introduce is the FBI agent Verndalen Perry, but she'll be actually the first few pages of Way of the Gun will introduce her, because I have to have that. There's things that are going to happen in this book that are going to be connected to her, so I needed to make sure that we get her introduced and everything right off the bat. So let me see. Now I keep getting asked about the mask, so I've explained about the mask, but I'm going to start on that again. If you've watched any of the art I've tweeted out, most of you guys have either seen Horse or Penance. They're both white masks with black markings. So, and then you may have seen Gaiman's mask, which is a red. He's a red mask with black markings, and he's got the 3 claw marks across the face. So you may have seen that one. And then there are the black masks. So that is supposed to be the Holy Trinity. It's supposed to be mind, body, and spirit. And hold on, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm going to try to fix this. Hopefully it doesn't bump me off. But I see some stuff on the screen. I want to fix it. So just with me. And okay. Oi. Okay. It looks like, I was like, man, this thing was going wonky on me. And I was like, I'm in the middle of talking and I see my screens just going all crazy and everything. But I'm back. All right. So, hello, everybody. Legendary Monkey, Feel Cool, Darth Bobcat, Woke One, all that. Zerky. Okay. All right. So, I see you guys now. And, okay. So, should I even just start? Okay. So, I was trying to explain the masks. I was trying to explain what the masks mean. And, hello, Zerker, how are you? I hope I'm saying that right. I was like, but the reason we have the red, black, and white masks, because each one of them represents something different. It's supposed to be the Holy Trinity. Since we've got all these religious overtones, so it's supposed to be mind, body, and spirit. So the white masks are spiritual energy, spiritual power. The black masks are the black masks are the mental. It's supposed to be more enhanced mental abilities, and then you have the God, it's on my phone. Oh God, it's driving me nuts. Okay, sorry about that. So I was like, why am I so popular this morning? But the black masks are mental, and then the red masks are supposed to enhance physical abilities. Then the hunters, all the hunters already have like super strength and enhanced senses and all that kind of stuff. But like someone with the red mask would be able to go like maybe super scion level. It'd be just on another level. So I thought about that, and then I want